All right, how's it?
There we go. You look good.
Cool.
I can see your balls. I'm just kidding, dude.
I was down for real, like, oh shit.
Sunday morning on Mother's Day. Thank you for doing
Yeah.
this, taking the time, man.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'd start this off by, you know, obviously you're an End It, that'd be the title, but have you ever done anything before End It? Like, I'm not too familiar. I love End It, but I don't know if you were in any other bands before this band.
So before I was in Ended, I was in a band around Baltimore called Malicious Code, and I did vocals for that band as well.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, and that was cool. That was like thrashy. You know, I mean, it had hardcore elements, but it was more like a metal. The dude was like trying to play black metal riffs, but I don't know. It was, you see, it's not a thing anymore. So,
yeah, for sure. Hey man,
yeah.
it ain't hardcore. It can fuck off. No, I'm playing. So I mean, so you're in Baltimore right now. How's the weather out there? Your spring's come and everything looking alive finally.
I mean, yeah, things are growing in. It's been overcast and cold. It's been cold as shit for like 3 days. I love it personally, but
Are you rather be a little cold than hot?
well, I was born in February, so like, yeah, I'd rather, because
Okay.
I sweat a lot all the time. That's why I always take my shirt off because I'm fucking hot.
It's a thing. You got to do it, man. Looks good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've been around for quite a long time. So how'd you get into hard? I got to ask the question. How'd you get into hardcore?
So shit. Huh? I blank. Shit. Fucking, I don't know, going to high school and just you hang out with the kids and you find out about the shows and where the shows at, and you end up going to the shows, especially shows around here in Baltimore. At the time I started coming up, it was really lawless. Like
Yeah.
it was wild as shit. But I liked it because there's always someone to buy you a drink or someone to hang out with. You know,
Hell yeah. What years was this?
I started going to shows late '05, early 2006.
Okay, hell yeah, yeah, man. That was a pretty weird era, like all around, like American hardcore. So everybody's like super violent and grimy, you know.
So it was like we talk about it all the time. It's like so it was still very much underground, and a lot of illegal shit was happening. But it had been established. It was going on, like, let's say we say hardcore started in like the '80s, about the early 2000s. That's 30 years of whatever happens in this room is what happened, and then the internet and all those sensibilities got involved. So, how old are you?
I'll be 35 in August, so I got in like '04,
Yeah,
'05 myself. So yeah,
like 32. So it was around the time where it's like he shouldn't be moshing with brass knuckles on. Like, we can all agree that that's dangerous, but that's cool as shit.
right. Yeah, something super attractive about like the really violent like element. It's weird. It's dangerous as fuck. Like some people mosh with like razor blades and shit, depending on where you were. Like that shit's scary
Guns
as
falling
fuck.
out
Nobody
your
wants that, but you're interested in it.
all types of wild shit. But I don't know. I guess it's better in some regards now. You know what I mean? Like, you don't see as many kids getting beat up and
Yeah,
people get shit these days.
yeah, for sure. There's definitely not like the mob beatings that we've all witnessed, a decade ago. Where it's like, so you feel bad for some people.
You do, and you do actually feel bad. Like, some kid, he obviously ain't been around long. Otherwise, he would recognize what's going on. He goes to hit the wrong dude. Next thing you know, he got a boot in his ass, couple boots in his ass, then 20 boots in his ass. But hey,
Right. But the weird thing is like I never understood it. It's like some people like can't like read the room, like they don't know what's about to happen. Like you see everybody's like, all right, something's gonna go down. You feel it in the air when like there's about to be like a big fight or somebody's about to get jumped or some stupid shit. Like you never really. I mean, I've been on the serving end of that shit myself. If acting stupid way back in the day, being dumb and violent with my friends, but it's like you didn't see this coming. You should have left, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's like for real. Like you didn't. How'd you not know that you were going to get beat up?
Yeah.
Like I mean, even in terms of like the B9 board and whatnot, that shit would translate to real life, but people would still act on the internet as if like you're not going to see him.
Oh,
Or,
most
or
definitely.
I just don't. That's something I've never understood. Like you talking big shit, and then when someone wants to fight you now, it's I don't know why we're doing this. I don't, you told me to go fuck my mom.
Yeah.
You told me through the keyboard to go fuck my mom, and then when I decided to fight you, now I'm a piece of shit. I don't get it.
Yeah. You're violent psycho because I was running my mouth and deserved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
It just goes that crucial 3 to 4 years. It changes the perspective a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And you can't say that it's not a better thing, that it's not so crazy anymore. Like, well, with dumb shit like that, like you can go to a show and everybody's getting along. Depends, on who's there, I guess, for the most part. But it's like not as crazy as it used to be. I guess that's what it boils down, which is a good thing. It's a very positive thing that no one's getting their fucking ass handed to them every day.
Like the fact that we don't have fucking imagine like 20, 30 blood and honor Nazis run up in the show. You
Dude.
know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like kids talk about they're gonna smash Nazis, and I'm not gonna. I mean, I've done a thing or two, but I ain't. And I hear some of the stories from how it used to be. I'm like, this is we got off easy. Like, imagine late 20s, and you gotta think people older than us, the genetics were different. So, like, an 18-year-old in the 90s was not the same physical specimen as an 18-year-old in the early 2000s.
Correct.
They were much stronger because the food was organic. There's a whole lot of variables, but I'm just glad in some regards that we ain't had to deal with all the foolishness.
For sure. I can say, we got off easy. Like you said, we got off easy. Like all the Nazis were chased out by the time we showed up, which, dude, it'd be so weird to see somebody come with like a swastika on their back or something. Like, that dude's got to go now,
Because we know now, if not someone physically escorting them out of the show, someone's gonna get, like, you can't just wear a swastika and come to the show. Someone's gonna say something.
Yeah, I've never seen that. I've never seen it. All the punk shows I've been to, I've never seen. They just have to be like afraid. Like they got to keep that shit tucked.
Now I've seen goofy shit working because I bounced at a venue out here in Baltimore. I've seen goofy shit. Dudes would have like SS bolts and stuff like that, but that's at black metal shows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this is some fucking mouth breathing. He's like 120 pounds. He just left the house for the first time. He don't know. He really, and that's the thing. Because we have been given the example of how to conduct ourselves now. You know who you should and should not fight.
Yeah.
You just tell the kid to take your shirt off. Now, if he don't take your shirt off, you take it off for him. But like, you can't just go stomp out some fucking 130-pound black metal nerd.
Yeah, for sure.
At least
yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, being a bouncer at certain shows, certain people show up. Like, you just gotta let that shit slide past you. Like, you're like, oh, that guy's a straight up Nazi, but fuck him. He's just gonna go to the show and support this venue.
So Nazis, rapists, fucking pedophiles. This is Baltimore. Baltimore's real small. So like after a while, you're gonna learn whatever's done in the dark comes to the light. You're gonna learn about how people used to be and what happened. But yeah, if you bouncing, you're there to work the club. You're not there to police the show. So yeah, you may know like that dude is a Nazi or whatever, but he ain't handing out literature. He's not harming anybody. He's just there to watch the show. He's gonna leave. Sometimes you just gotta let him. You gotta let it.
Fair enough, man. Yeah.
Otherwise, without someone doing anything, that's just an assault.
Correct. Oh, when you look in the eyes of the law and that shit, you get in trouble now.
Outside the law, that don't mean the law don't still exist. So, like, what you gonna do? You gotta let them. That's pretty much my everyday. Just seeing someone, I'm like, I should. If this was 30 years ago, we would take you out back and fuck you up. But now we can't.
Yeah.
There's cameras and all that shit. So whatever.
Yeah, way too many cameras. That's a fact.
But hardcore dig used to be like really fucking nutty. For better or for worse, I don't fucking know. But I appreciate that. A lot of kids, because kids of a certain age don't really understand. Like, no, dog. I ain't been afraid of the show in a long time.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know?
Oh yeah.
Like you walk into the show, you're like, I want to see this band, but I may not walk out of here in my life.
Yo, I can really say though, a couple weeks ago, Gridiron and Pain and Truth came through to Detroit for their second album release shit. And I can truly say, man, I was up front for Summer Pain and Truth. And I was like, these people are going off. Like, I was like, this is fucking wild as shit. Like, I wasn't like super nervous, but I had to hide my head the whole time. Like, you're standing up front, you're getting fucking hit. I was like, ugh, I need to go in the back.
Like, when you were younger, you were worried about like getting beat up or disrespecting the wrong person, blah, blah, blah. Now that you're older, you're like, yo, if I roll my ankle, I gotta go to work.
I can't even afford it.
I can't afford to get at FYA. A band was playing. I got in the pit, started getting busy, and a kid came up to me and was like, "Did I see you?" He's like, "I've never seen you mosh," and I was like, "Yeah, dog, because I'm fat and out of shape now. If I get hurt or break something, I'm fucked. I shouldn't be
hurt for a long time."
Yo, it's the last time I sprained my ankle. It took me 2 months to like be regular.
Dude, my fat ass was on a trampoline with my daughter like 2 years ago. Yo, my ankle's still. I was trying to do like a 540. Like I should have been. I'm 300 pounds almost. You know, I should not be on a trampoline. I was like spinning around and shit. Like fucking rolled my ankle up for like 4 or 5. I didn't go to the doctor. I'm an idiot. But for sure I broke it. For sure I fractured it.
I'll be honest. I don't have health insurance because I want to be in a fucking hardcore band and be cool. So when I get hurt, that's it. Like I sprained my ankle. I'm just gonna limp until I don't limp anymore, and then maybe I'll start jogging.
It'll stop eventually. There's some.
It'll stop hurting. Maybe I'll go get a Percocet or two. But other than that, it's just gonna hurt.
Yeah, there's some residual pain, you know, but it'll subside. What's up?
How old's your daughter?
Oh, she just turned 8 back in February.
February what? What day?
February 7th.
I'm February the 19th. Hell yeah.
Okay. 219. 219. That's a comedian, Joey Diaz. That's his birthday. I know you heard of him.
That's Joe Diaz's birthday?
Yeah.
I love. You ever hear his routine called the kidnapping?
Oh fuck yeah. I forgot the dude's name, but yeah. Something Vela, dude. I used to be obsessed with Joey Diaz. Like until he stopped doing his podcast, I kind of fell off his new podcast. But when him and Lee would just sit and get high as fuck on edibles and shit, dude, it was like my life. I live for Joey Diaz, dude.
I fuck with Joey Diaz. As you know, people tell me I'm funny. I try to be funny.
You are funny as fuck, dude. You're hilarious.
I studied comedy, and not on no nerdy cliche shit, but like if there's one thing I care about, it's a laugh. It's a time and routine. I really respect and love all that shit. I wouldn't necessarily want to be a comedian, but I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It seems harder than it looks. You know, hearing all the comedians over the past 5 or 7 years I've been listening to like comedy podcasts. They put in work. It's not easy, I guess, but like some people come natural, but fuck. There's something special about comedians that can command a whole room of 1,500 to 3,000 people and have them all laugh. Like it's like you get sucked into their mind, and you know you're laughing at some crazy shit you never thought you'd laugh at.
That's some dumb shit.
Yeah, that's like, well, yeah, like laughing about a kidnapping with a machine gun.
Yeah. Like I'm actively sitting in the car, like I kind of want to kidnap somebody. That would be sick.
Over some blow. Fuck it.
Over some blow. Well, we're not gonna go into it. We don't have time. But
yeah. So obviously you do have a unique stage presence and like your voice and everything. Like, you know, you guys started 2017. You put out something.
The demo The ended demo came out in 2017.
Yeah, and being in bands before, like, how hard was it for you to get on stage and like to be able to attempt to command a crowd and control the room and shit and have people go off? Like, do you have to work at that, or did you just say, I hope this works?
So, in all honesty, all I do is get on stage and I'm literally just being me. As cliche as it is, me on stage is who I actually am. But I'm actually being a little bit more. I'm holding back because I'm 230 pounds and like I'm athletic enough. It's not fair at this point in my big life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you 35, I'm 32. You remember how you were built at 16?
Oh yeah.
You look in the mirror now, you're a fully grown fucking man, and everyone else in the room is a child.
True that, yeah.
It's not fair for me to just like wildly assault people's kids, like regardless of my aggression or whatever I'm going through in hardcore the situation, there's still rules in place. So, but in regards to like me controlling the crowd and the stage and whatnot, I was forced to go to church for 16 years straight. And, I had to be in the choir and I had to read things on Easter Sunday and shit like that. And I'm the youngest of my family, so I've always been on display.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I've always been funny. And it sounds conceited, but I'm talking to you. You get what I'm saying? Like, I've always just been this way.
no,
I don't work at it. You know what I'll do? I pick out an outfit that I'm gonna wear, and then I drink a little bit, and then I get on stage.
Okay. Hey,
That's
man,
it.
whatever works. Whatever works. Like you said, like you're the youngest. I'm the youngest too. So I've always been on display in my own. I'm the funny guy out of people I'm always around and shit like that. But the thing is, I can hide in my basement, and not know who's
Yes.
watching me. I'm here doing the podcast. Some people might watch the video or others just fucking listen, but I'm not in a room with 150 to fucking 500 people. I don't know if I can handle that shit. I'll hide in the corner.
See, now me personally, I'm gonna go ahead and just hold the phone.
Yeah, you're
Remember,
good.
I don't know if you noticed, I'm black. So
Oh, no shit. Watch all my cats coming through. Get out of here.
so like I've always I was never afforded that luxury, so to speak, in terms of punk and hardcore. Like I'm loud, I'm young, I'm attractive, and I'm black in a room full of white kids. So like, yeah, I'm gonna stand out.
Right.
So, and being the baby of the family, of a pretty big family, so I've been on display there. I've been on display at the show. This is just the norm for me,
Hell
And
yeah,
I
man.
went to school for vocal performance, and like I got a good singing voice, and the children's choir, and being in the church, and baseball, and I've always been like, in all honesty, if it wasn't for hardcore, I'd have just been another job.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
that's the way I was set up. My parents moved out of the bad place, 30 years in the steel mill, master's degrees, elevated suburbia. That's
Okay. Yeah.
that's what I was used to be about. But I
Moving a
don't.
tackle.
Yeah. But I'm like, that shit's whack. I don't want to do that.
No, fuck that shit. So
No, that shit.
that's what I was gonna ask. Like, like if you were, we mentioned suburbia. I was gonna say, was it like suburbia or was it like the hood? Because hardcore doesn't have a strong presence in the hood unless you meet some white kid out there or something.
So actually, I'm gonna give her a shout out. She'll probably never listen to this podcast, and if she does, she hates me. But I gotta give her respect. A person I used to date at one point, because I do go through a lot of code switch and personality crisis on like, who am I? Because I didn't have your stereotypical black upbringing. Like my old man did 30 years in the steel mill, and my mom got her master's degree and shit. But my dad was born in 1949.
Okay.
So my relation to America and society is a little bit different because like when he was coming up, you actually had to run from the Ku Klux Klan.
Holy shit! Especially down south, right? Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, Maryland, Baltimore.
Yeah.
So like when kids talk about racism and all these things, I'm coming. My main role model growing up was like, I'm gonna be honest, this ain't you kids don't actually know racism. Like you don't actually know oppression.
No,
You don't.
dude.
No, Steve.
No, dude.
It's like,
I was in the whitest neighborhood growing up. I don't know shit.
I'm gonna put you in my shoes, so to speak. So you're a white dude. Say you don't have any racial, like you don't actually care what black people do or don't do, but the world around you is telling you, well, that's how you should feel. So now you have to be racist. Because if you aren't racist, they'll fucking kill you too.
Right? Yeah. Growing up in
Yeah.
areas, especially on your generation, like who your parents are and shit. Yeah. Oh, it's
So
weird.
it's-
Oh no. Oh, dude, my
Yeah,
grandpa
the
was the
dynamic-
worst. Dude, my grandpa was the worst person, dude. You know, because we're right on the border of a Detroit and like one city south. Like we're like a mile from like Detroit, whatever. But
Okay.
I remember. So my grandpa telling me back in like I don't know, in the 60s, I think was when the big Detroit riots took place. And I remember him telling me you know, him and his neighbors just like sitting on their porch, like standing like on the corner, like with like shotguns, like waiting for the shit to like spill over. You know, like they were, I don't kind of hoping maybe, but I was like, that doesn't sound great. You know,
we're both dudes. We sort of kind of want. It's like I hope we don't have to fight, but if we have to fight, that'll be sick.
Exactly.
I love it. Justifies even to kill somebody.
that's fucked up. But you know?
I mean, why do 18-year-old men join the Marine Corps? Because you kind of hope you get the opportunity to fucking kill somebody.
Oh man, that's some. But
it's human nature. It's human nature. You got to think before money and shit. We just had tribes, and it's like, hey, we over here, they're over there. If they come over here, we're gonna fucking kill them.
Yeah, it's gonna be a war for sure.
It'll be a war. That's just what they sell us war, but war was gonna happen whether there was a war economy or not.
That's a fact. Like they need war. You know, it's like it's part of the economy. Economy is when they factor in the budget based on, you know, whatever resources they can take, which is weird. But
and it's part of life. But I forget how I went off on a tangent.
Nah.
Yeah, hardcore. I thought about it the other day. Like we played that show in Philly with Gulch.
Mm-hmm.
And that was sick. Shout out Philadelphia. Shout out Gulch. Bob, Joe, Mike Hooligan, all the Philly homies, Gavin. But like I'm there, and maybe you can relate. You remember when you were a teenager and you had all these ideologies and all these things you wanted to be, right? And then as you get older, maybe if you're paying attention, you look back and you're like, man, would I impress teenage me right now?
Probably. I don't know if they'd agree on the same things.
I mean, nah, teenage me would still think I'm sick as fuck. But now, because of my other life choices, like I got a child. I have a relationship I'm trying to build. I realize how much my family and my parents mean and all that shit. And as I'm playing the show, I'm like, I really shouldn't be. I mean, I'm gonna play the show, but if I'm being responsible, I should be home.
Yeah. Even that's your own thought. Like, see, I look at it now, like, I'll find a babysitter. My son's 15, my daughter's 8. So like I can find a babysitter.
Whoa. You got a 15-year-old?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey.
That's it. What's his name?
Harold. OG
Harold?
name. Yeah.
That's a old.
listen. I mean, I don't know if it's out there or not, but see, he's not my biological son. I met his mom when he was like 5 months old. Like she worked at a place that I worked at. We just sort of hit it off, and things worked out from there.
I'll say I got 1 or 2 of them as well. Children who they ain't my children.
Yeah,
and I don't keep up with them like I should. But
like I call him my son. You know, like, I've been in his life 14 and a half years, dude. Like he doesn't remember me not being around. Like he was an infant. You know? Yeah, I'm his dad. Like his biological father came back in the picture like a few years ago. It's all good. We work out things. You know, it's all for the best. More people to love him. That's the way I look at it. You know,
life is fucking weird.
Hell yeah, yeah.
You can't. The best laid plans of mice and men. You don't know what the fuck tomorrow brings.
No, man. So we just tried to You're peaceful, keep it peaceful. Everybody gets along and everything's, happy as can be for the kids, for the kids,
For the kids.
Soft ass fucking kids.
Yeah, these kids are so fucking soft. And here's the thing, we're soft.
Oh yeah.
Like in relation to the role models we had growing up, I'll never be as hard as a man who decided he wasn't going to Vietnam and then worked in the steel mill for 30 years.
Shit. Yeah. Dude.
I just won't, because he did the right thing, removed me from that situation so that I didn't have to go through all that.
Yeah. True. I mean,
the generation after us, there's some soft motherfuckers out here. Like really, like, damn, I can't even you upset at a slur that ain't got nothing to do with you. That's crazy.
Yeah. They'll call you racist these days.
Man. Actually, my buddy the other day, I don't know if you saw the Hate 5-6 footage. One of the other times we played Philly, I opened the set with a Screwdriver song.
I guess I didn't recognize it. I've seen most of them, but maybe I didn't recognize it. Yeah.
I opened the set with Back with a Bang because I can. And when he saw me the other day, he was like, "What's up? My favorite black Nazi." I was like, "Don't tell people that. Don't."
Because it will get out. They'll cancel you for being racist.
Well, they can't. That's the thing, though. I'm black. You can't cancel me because that's racist. It's a catch-22. It's a double-edged sword.
It is. They're like, I'm the racist now. People are crazy people these days, man.
The shit that people get offended by and whatnot is ridiculous.
I agree. Like, I remember when you were in Detroit, man, you said some weird shit. Oh, you had on that "Don't tread on me" hat. And you're like, I'm not a racist, I'm a patriot. And everybody was like, ugh.
And I was like, oh, y'all don't know me. I'm joking. This is a joke. That's why I got this fucking stupid ass "Don't Tread on Me" hat on. My politics are not aligned with the "Don't Tread on Me" movement. However, it's a part of American history and it's a sick hat.
Yeah, for like 1776.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or whatever year that shit came around. It was around then.
That's the shit that would potentially get me canceled. Like, the band's called End It, and I'm pro-suicide. And there's been times where, like, I'll go on, like, a pro-suicide rant. Now, I'm not going to say I want people to kill themselves. That's not the goal. But if you don't see any other way to stop your suffering, don't stick around on my accord. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree.
Like, if you're truly unhappy, just get out of here. We'll see you later. But I'm still gonna miss you.
What about kids though? That's when I'm like, no. Well, what if your kids love you and you support your family, but you hate everything inside and you want to kill yourself, but you got children to support.
You know how hard that is to to actually go through it and kill yourself? I don't know. That's a lot. That's heavy. Good luck with that.
Dude.
Yeah, my opinion on it or anything I could tell you or say to you is not gonna stop you from doing that.
Yeah. For those people who really, really feel that's the only way to stop suffering, it takes some balls. It's fucking.
It takes some real balls to kill yourself.
That's scary.
If you decide to kill yourself, more power to you. And again, I'll give you a shout out. Put us in your suicide note, and we'll send your family some merch.
Let's send your family some merch.
Yo, free merch. Bury him with this shit. Or wear it. I don't really give a shit.
Oh shit.
I mean, ultimately, I don't want people to kill themselves. My good buddy, I'm not gonna call him my best friend, but a good buddy of mine killed himself a while ago, and it took me over a decade to actually deal with it.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know if I've had any friends that actually commit suicide, but I've had well over probably 5 or 6 friends fucking overdose and fucking die.
Yeah,
some motherfuckers out here, it's like and they're like pill poppers and shit, and they just moved on after that, to heroin and shit, and oops, that happened.
It really be like that. All it takes is a little bit too much to drink, a little sniff. Next thing you know, you're getting revived in your bedroom, and your old lady's mad at you. That may be something I heard. That may be an actual story from my life. That may be something I'm just reiterating.
Oh shit. Oh, did you been there, huh? Hey,
That's,
you know,
life's a bitch.
yeah, dude. I agree. Life is a fucking bitch, but
Life's a bitch. But I wasn't meant to die because I'm still here. So we'll take it day by day.
damn, no. I've never gone, dude. I used to do so much fucking blow back in the day, though, like ungodly amounts, like 17. I was young, like 17 to like 21. Like I stopped by my 21st birthday was the last time I did it because it was a fucked up 21st birthday. It was bad. When you're doing coke and then you're popping Xannies to come down, you're drinking, people are passing out. Ugh, ugly. 8 in the morning, I'm out the window and shit. Like, act like an idiot.
You're just staring out the blind, just smoking cigarettes, but you're not out. I get it.
Yeah, someone's coming by. I know the cops are gonna roll by any second. Yeah.
It's like, so you have 1 8-ball of cocaine between 9 people. The police aren't coming into this room.
Exactly.
You're all poor. We're just pouring on drugs. It's fine.
Turn the radio down. I don't care.
Yo, close the blind, Joe.
Yeah. Oh my god. Shut the light off and shit like a retard. Fuck that.
But you're still smoking cigarettes, so like they can see you anyway.
Anyway, back to hardcore. Let me see what I got for you.
But what's fun though, you realize like this whole they used to always say like hardcore is a lifestyle, and it is a fucking lifestyle.
Oh yeah.
It's not just music. And that is the one disconnect I will give. And of course, this has always been occurring. Like this is nothing new, but there is a disconnect between hardcore's music and people who just enjoy hardcore and the music, and then like the ethos and the lifestyle attached. And that's where we get the kids who are like, yo, crowd killing this, and you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do this. And we're over here like, I mean, yeah, but that's part of the thing.
Yeah.
You don't, without drug abuse and alcoholism and violence and death and suicide and whatnot, you're not going to get hardcore. You're not, the only reason you have straight edge is because enough kids got tired of their friends fucking dying from drug overdoses to be like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. It is weird how it came from that, and like hardcore is hardcore. Like when you know the definition, hardcore has to mean something. You can't be a little bitch crying about everything.
It's hardcore. Hit me up. We are little bitches crying about everything, but our crying is not like, it's not like, oh, I stubbed my toe. I'm saying our crying is like, I'm gonna assault everyone in this room. That's how we cry.
Yeah,
out loud.
For sure. But I mean, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah, I'm picking up.
Yeah, crybabies out there.
The worst.
The worst. So what do I
The worst.
Oh, hey, Layla, you do a podcast, right? You have
I
another podcast.
do.
Yeah. It took me a minute to even understand what the name. I was like, Blunx. It took me a second. Black Blunx. Am I assuming that? Like, I'm so stupid. It took me a second. I was like, that makes sense. There's like 2 Black Blunx.
Because that's how you're supposed to spell it. And then Black Blunx.
Right. So
my band, 2 of my bandmates, when the podcast first came out, they were like, yo, we're gonna make a parody called Up the Wonks. And I was like, you could just call it Up the Punks. You don't have to throw the white part in there, but that's fine.
So I mean, can you describe your podcast? Like, what do you guys talk about on there for the
So me and Kevin, Kevin is a comedian. Kevin actually does do stand-up, and he goes on tour, he does that thing. And we both like punk, and he likes End It. I like his bands. Shout out Your Parents. And it's just me and him. We'll find something, current events, things going on in the scene, just general gripes about being Black and male and the foolishness that goes on in the world. But like, yeah, that's pretty much the whole podcast. It's pretty much just me and him riffing back and forth. Like we're just improvising.
Okay. Hey, good times, man.
Yeah.
And to put it out there, like that's one like mine. Like I don't give a fuck if anybody listens. And this is for me. Like, I'm being selfish about it. I'm talking to people that I like. You know, like
No,
if you
yeah, this
listen,
is
cool. But I'm doing something I like over here, so you can watch or don't. You know.
so that's literally what I'm doing with End It. Like, I appreciate. I'm not. Before I say what I say, I appreciate the people like the band. They purchase the merch. That's great. This is how I live my life. Like, this is just how I am. This is just what we do. I really at this point don't know what else I would do. If I didn't have to be, if I wasn't in a band, I would just be an alcoholic.
Shit. Hey.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta be honest with yourself. Life's about growth. If I, in all honesty, if I didn't have hardcore, dog, I'd be dead. I'd probably be in prison or something crazy like that. One of my major things of not getting in so much trouble is so I can stay out to be on tour, regardless of the shit we get into on the road and like my life and whatnot. Like, hardcore is a very important thing. I'm doing it for the core. That's it.
That's it. I like
It's for the
that,
core.
man. Shit. You know, it's like no other way to live. Like, if I know there's people who do like do the normal. So I always say this. I'm like, I couldn't imagine like being like a normal dude, like going like golfing or going to like a sports bar with like the bros and shit like that, or you know, like Kevin in accounting, like he's having a bachelor party. Like, that don't sound like fun to me. Like, drink some Bud Light. Like, fuck you.
So at least once every 3 months, I try to have a regular job. Right, I'll apply and I'll get a real job and I'll show up. And within like the first month, I'm like, why the fuck am I even here? Like, this is not real. Everything you like, this may be the real world for you people, but this ain't the real world that I know. Like, this ain't real. I don't know how I don't understand how you could go to work for 30 years. You know, you went to the same place for 30 years and pretended to give a fuck about shit. Fuck that. I'm not doing that.
Right. Yeah. I'm a truck driver, like, so I'm alone most of the time. Like, I go to the same place every day, like 4 or 5 times. I see the same people, but like while I'm in my truck, I'm alone. I don't gotta have a small talk in the break room and shit like that. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to deal with you.
No one's gonna invite me to like birthday party. Like, I've done it, and it's not to say I haven't. I've made some good friends because of like the normie way of doing things, but I'm really. You play Grand Theft Auto 5?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm real live Trevor, dog. Like, you know how Trevor would wake up in a chicken coop with his pants unbuckled?
Yeah.
He was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know, man. I was out. My brain decided that it didn't want to do what I thought I was going to do, and now I don't know where I'm at, actually. Shit. All right.
Hey, look, dude. Hold on, let me pause this for 1 second. Stay right here, but it says it's about to like shut down for whatever reason. So give me 1 second. Okay. Right. Cool. Sorry about that, man. Back where we are. That was fucking crazy.
Yeah, nah, that's fine.
I've never seen that. I've done dozens of these, and it's like, oh, you only have a 40-minute time limit, or we're gonna shut it off or upgrade. Like, nah, you're gonna start this shit out of nowhere in the middle of this fucking thing. You don't even warn me before I started. You know? Yeah. So I don't know where we were. We're talking about the podcast and shit like that. And
so you live in Detroit?
Just like I'm right on the border, but I spent a lot of my teenage years, whether going to shows or hanging out, with the Hispanic population. A lot of my friends are Mexican, because I went to an alternative school in high school. Like, it's like the bad kids and then people who fuck up, they go there, So
I was always friends with the bad kids, but my old man ain't play that shit.
Oh no, my dad did not either. He was like, I'll never bring him. I'd have to lie about everything and say, hey, I'm going to Trevor's house, but I'm going to fucking Jose's in Southwest Detroit, getting some shit.
I've had teachers actually pull up on me and be like, you know what, dog? I can't catch you. I know you're involved, but I can't get you out of this school. And I'm like, you have a vendetta against a 12-year-old? That's crazy. That's crazy. You like what? You want to get me expelled?
That's crazy. You're right, man.
Nutty shit. I mean, we're in fucking middle school.
Like, I'm a child. Yeah, for sure. I know what you're saying. I couldn't be a teacher or a principal because, especially having kids of your own. And then, like, my principal, in like elementary school, it's like this like, old bald guy from like the 60s and 70s, but for some reason he was still a principal, and he was just fucking mad at the world, just salty. He'd slam doors and the fucking glass would break. He'd scream in your fucking face to face. Like, you're treating like fifth graders like this, dude. Like, why are you a psycho?
You're yelling at a 10-year-old.
Yeah. And I shit you not, dude. His name was Mr. Savage. John Savage was his name.
Hell.
And he was just a bald, fucking pissed off guy who hated everybody.
It's like I'm glad those, I got to give respect where respect is due. I like that the new generation, especially men, are able to be bisexual and be gay and be non-binary and not have to worry about all the shit we potentially would have had to go through had we decided, well, I'm gay. You know what I mean? On the other side of that, though, I don't get, that whole like boys will be boys. You know how like roughhousing and shit like that?
Yeah.
A lot of that whole like boyish energy is gone. And it's like, well, this ain't no fun. I like, in the 90s, if you're a good buddy, you'd be like, what's up, F word? That's just how we greeted each other.
Yeah.
That's just how we talked.
Yeah. You get into like a Call of Duty chat room, that shit's still flying, but
those are friends. I don't know.
No, that's not real love. That's a bunch of hiding people on the internet. Yeah, true. Yeah, you're right though. Yeah, I remember being like playing like you smear the queer, like
I was talking to my old lady, and who knows how much longer she'll be my old lady. She mad at me right now. I love you, mama. Well, I was talking about smear the queer the other day, and I was like, yo, we could never play that now. You could never. I mean, it was either called throw up or smear the queer, but smear the queer is the name of the game.
Yeah,
but you can't say that now, so to speak, unless you fit into what is a queer.
Right. Yeah. Unless someone's mad, like your friend might feel a certain way. Now they're not your friend because you got a derogatory term or whatever. But
for us at 4 years old, you like when I was playing Smear the Queer, I also was holding kids down and spitting on them. So it's a different.
Right. Yeah.
It's really a different world, but in regards to the youth, it's for the better. Ultimately, I can't sit here and pretend like I don't like that I'm not afraid in shows anymore sometimes, but I do like that. Like I don't got to worry about someone getting stabbed or someone getting their fucking head stomped. You know what I mean? Like, because all those older tough guy shows, these kids don't. At least 45% of kids who listen to Turnstile don't listen to Madball. So you don't have to worry about Madball activities at the Turnstile show.
Yeah, true. Like even at the Agnostic Front show last night, like they came through with Sick of It All and Crown of Thorns, and it was a tight show. But it's like this is just a totally different crowd. There's a couple people from like say who'd go to like End It or like a Never Ending Game show. There's maybe like 20 or less of those, and then a sold out 350 person room when everybody's like over like 35 to like 65. At
this point, yes, yeah.
It was so weird because like I counted like at least 4 canes, like people on canes, like old skinheads with their suspenders on and their Doc Martens and crippled motherfuckers. They're drinking Black Label and shit. Like what the fuck is this place? It was like it's like an 80s punk rock. Because you can't forget. We got It's a Cold as Life and Negative Approach and shit like that all started in this area. So those people, if I've been going to shows since the late 70s, which is just crazy. Like
so many so many good bands that will actually, and I like to think about how many bands who didn't get their shine and their music wasn't recorded, so like they're just gone.
Yeah, or they had some fucking cassette tape or some shit that just never got released to anybody but their friends.
But they were popping.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they were that band, but we'll never know.
Yeah, it is what it is. But now, I mean, it's almost like a good thing and a bad thing. like how accessible fucking literally everything is to everybody, because it's like a news cycle. It's like you put out a new album, well there's 7 that day, or there's 5 more next week, to where shit just sort of gets like pushed out of the way, it seems, because it's so easy to record and just like put it out there for the world. It's like hard to keep up sometimes.
Well,
And so you guys don't have anything new coming out, do you? Are you working on anything? It's been a minute.
all right, so remember we had that whole pandemic thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
And right before the pandemic, we had a lot of shit lined up. We were really about to, and we only had the 2 EPs, but we were about to hit the road. During the course of the pandemic, we have recorded another EP. I guess I could tell you what's the day, May 8th. So we shot a couple music videos.
Oh shit!
So we'll have music videos coming out, and the EP will be coming out on Flat Spot Records, and it's gonna be our latest EP plus the other 2 EPs remastered and everything in one vinyl.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
That's cool. Any date talked about yet? Is it gonna be a while? Or I don't know, you can say when you say, I'm just asking now.
it'll be here sooner than you know.
You let us know when the time comes. That's fucking great. Because obviously it's been a while, and if you're remastering anything, which is cool, might have different sound, or is it pretty similar?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. It's just the same thing but louder.
Okay, hell yeah.
Because the first iteration of this band, our drummer at the time, Farver, what up, homie? He's more of like a punk. The dude's got those fucking black flag scissors tattooed on his whole torso.
Okay.
Like, I forget what album cover that is, but like the scissors that. So he's like a punker, more punk type. And as the years have gone on, we've morphed into more modern hardcore, but old school thrash crossover shit. So it all sounds it's quintessential ending, Like the new EP is only 12 minutes.
Shit, quick and to the point.
Yeah,
what,
I don't like
5 songs, 5 or 6 songs.
Shit. Yeah, sure.
9.
It's 5 or 6 or something like that. I can't remember.
Sure.
Yeah, it's music. We got a couple features and some cool shit going on. It's pretty rad.
That's great, man. Any sick samples of any songs? Like I never understood the Charlie Rich joint. What's the influence to throw that on there? How did that end up on there?
I'm a real big fan of country and western. Like you really got, and I'm gonna say it again. My old man was born in 1949. Like, so before you had, that's the hip hop station. That's the classic rock station. That's the alternative modern station. It was just the fucking radio. So what came on the radio is what you listen to.
Right.
So growing up, I didn't necessarily have a notion of what is black music, what is white music. It's just what the old man's playing. My old man turned down a ticket to Woodstock. I got a great uncle who founded a motorcycle club back in the day and whatnot. Like, we're weirdos, so to speak. Okay. But it's not that we're weird. It's just the time and era in which they grew up. There were no really hard defined lines on what is acceptable for people to do. It's just what was happening.
Yeah, this is what you get, and that's all there is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You either gonna listen to the Rolling Stones or you're not.
Man.
So the Charlie Rich sample came from like I said, I love country and western. And the opening line, once was a thought inside my head, before I reach 30, I'd be dead. I didn't plan to make it to 18. Like, I figured by 18, I'd either was gonna drink myself to death, kill myself, or something dumb was gonna happen.
Right.
Because of the lifestyle I was leading.
Yeah.
And you can attest to.
Yeah.
So
right. I say, how many people can actually relate? A lot.
A lot. Yeah. A lot of people can understand. Like, I don't know. I looked up and I was like, I'm 32 with a baby. What the fuck? I ain't supposed to be here. I didn't plan to be here.
Yeah. Hey. Well, then you go back to what we said earlier. Like, would your teenage self, you look at 32-year-old self and say, would he be happy, proud, or surprised?
Definitely surprised. He'd be surprised as shit. Like, wow, that's crazy. You still here?
Yeah.
You yeah, that's
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
You got
That's a good way to put it, a surprise for sure. I can say so for myself. Like 2 kids, a house. Oh, you got a mortgage? What's wrong with what the fuck?
What the fuck? You have a mortgage?
Yeah.
Your credit score was high enough that someone gave you a house? Get the fuck out of here. That's what's up.
It's like it felt like almost like some of your debts paid off. Oh, good for you. That's crazy.
Good for you. Yeah.
But, hey, man, you live it.
But yeah, we got a couple samples on the new EP. Nothing too crazy.
I love samples though, whether it's a movie quote or another song from another time, or even like cover songs. I love cover songs too, man. I get excited when bands do covers.
I wish more bands would do covers because I notice a lot in music. People want to adhere to the rules set down by, it's the same thing of living up to your teenage self. Excuse me. So bands be like, oh, we don't play covers. It's wild that like you're musicians and you say you don't play covers, but there's a whole section of music called American Standards, which is just other people playing other people's songs. Yeah. Like anyone can play. Danny Boy is public domain. Anyone can play Danny Boy.
Hell yeah. Well, should be. There's so many songs that should be,
There's so many songs that should be covered all the time.
Yeah. Like, for Agnostic Front, every time I've ever seen them, including last night, they do the Ramones Blitzkrieg Bop.
Blitzkrieg Bop, yeah.
It's an American staple.
My first band, Malicious Code, we opened for AF at a place called the Holiday House in Baltimore, and they played Blitzkrieg Bop. When they
get that shit pop, and everyone's like, I know this song.
Kids start pogoing and shit.
Yo, dude, it was so cool. Like, I made a little post earlier. Like, when you see Agnostic Front, like, you can see that they had the most experience out of almost any hardcore band performing live. And in that room, it feels like an arena with the Rolling Stones. Like, they're like the Rolling Stones of hardcore, and the way they fucking man the stage, and Vinny Stigma, like he was in the middle of the pit, people circle pitting around him, just fucking riffing guitar. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how is he still doing this? And I was like, how old is Vinny Stigma? To my phone, I was like, how old is Vinny Stigma? For 66 years old, man. Like,
it's fucking nutty.
It's like,
it's a long time to be alive.
Yeah, it's a long time he played hardcore.
I played Baltimore. They missed our set. And the only reason I remember it is because Roger actually came up to me and was like, yo, I'm sorry I missed your set. And I was like, nah, you good. Like, I totally understand you traveling from wherever you are in Agnostic Front. If you don't want to watch it, you've seen enough bands. I totally understand if you don't want to see my band. But he genuinely was like, nah, man, I'm sorry I missed y'all. And I was like, thanks, yo. It's like one of those things. Like, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yo, that's cool, though, because
all of those dudes are still down.
Down as fuck. Like, it's because I was surprised there's a line outside the show yesterday with probably maybe like 75 people. I was like, there's a line. Like, everybody always waits till they unlock the door to start walking up. But like, people were so excited to get in, get a little spot, and while we're in line waiting for the doors to open, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I was just checking the clock. Sorry.
Okay, no, you're good. It was weird because here comes rolling up AF in their fucking rented van, and Roger's driving. Vinny's in the back. They open the door. Hey, they hop out. Everyone's excited. I was like, holy shit, man! Roger, of all people, the lead man of fucking Agnostic Front, is just still in the driver's seat. Like, after all these years, it's like, fuck. And they are so OG.
Did you watch the documentary?
Yeah. Yep.
You remember when Roger was
hardcore? Yeah.
When Roger was like, I sort of kind of can't. He was like, what the fuck would Vinny do if I stopped doing this?
True. Yeah, he'd be sitting on his rooftop with his pigeons, but he'd grow old so fast.
He'd find something to do, but it keeps him young.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if he retired from hardcore, that's when people die, when they fucking stop doing what they love or they stop working. That's when they rot, and he's the guy that can't sit at home and rot. Like, he's got to move, or he's so frail as it is. Like, when he got out of the van, I was like, man, he looks old. But he still got the energy of a 25-year-old, running around New York, man.
But at 60-something years old, he just got his fucking head tattooed. So that's,
I
you
get
know,
the mad ball across his head. I know. The most hardcore, man. The
the
most
most
hardcore.
right on.
He's so crazy.
Well,
I wish I could get him on my podcast, but so he doesn't
I'm
run
sure,
his
I mean,
shit.
if you just keep doing it, I'm sure you can.
Yeah. I've talked to some cool ass people so far, like that I thought was like out of my reach. I was even like afraid to ask, but
Yeah.
I was like, this is weird. Like to me, if I ask this guy to talk to me for an hour or two, like talk to Joe Hardcore. I know he's so immersed in the scene, he's down for it. But to ask, even like I talked to Jeff from Cold as Life, he came to my house and shit. Like what I
Cool.
seen him at shows like way back before he went to prison and shit. But I was always like kind of afraid of those guys. I was younger, and like those are the guys who were fucking shit up,
So we got our coldest life. Our coldest life is stout.
Hell yeah, yeah, man.
It's like I know those dudes now, but like coming up, it's like,
like I didn't want to make eye contact with them guys.
I'm actually scared. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm scared of y'all. I'm a fucking teenager from the suburbs. I thought I was just here to see live music and like drink and hang out, and then you hang out long enough and you find out what's actually happening, and you're like, oh shit, what the fuck? You've been where?
Yeah,
you did how many years? Wow,
like, you escaped prison and then went back and escaped again.
And then only for you to get older, and you're like, I mean, shit, the judge only give me 3 years. I can do 3 years. Like dumb shit, stupid asshole shit we need to grow out of.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people still like involved in the scene that are like 40s and 50s, like still on probation, like not parole, like they didn't just go to prison, but they're on probation for like stupid shit. Like, how are you still doing this?
Because
it's just that lifestyle. You want to be hardcore, be hardcore.
Yeah, a bunch of fucking knuckleheads. In all honesty, we're not bad people, but it's just something within all of us. It's just like I'm gonna do actually whatever the fuck I want to do.
Exactly, an attraction to how I want to live. Yeah, hey, but
I got the consequences of my choices, so
Yeah, dude. Like I've just been pretty lucky, I guess. Like there's so many felonies I could do fucking life. With everything. If I got caught for everything I've ever done, it'd put me underneath the fucking jail, dude. Yeah.
I once had I had a teacher. He was like he was trying to his head was in the right space. He was pretty much trying to convince me to give up that whole notion of being a hardcore and skinhead and this, that, and third, Baltimore, whatever. He was like, hardcore is just where gang members go who don't have a gang. And I was like, shit, that is, but he was saying it in a contradictory manner. But if that ain't the truth, it'll be, that's where you get casuals and hooligans and shit from. Just like Monday through Friday is a regular dude. You call that dude 9 o'clock on a Wednesday evening, on the right Wednesday, he'll definitely come commit a felony with you. He won't even think twice.
Yeah. Well, you can attest to people in the scene these days. Like it's like they go to work 9 to 5, but you can still call them and they'll be there with baseball bat or whatever you need.
Especially if you're not lying and it's justified. Like, yeah, I can get people.
Yeah,
and that's why hardcore rules.
Yeah, it's weird to think about too. Like, so we can go there, but do we want to?
We don't have to.
Yeah.
But like, I've been knowing these people 20-some years, and it's weird to say that out loud. Like, I've known motherfuckers 20 years now.
That is weird. I thought about it last night. Like, it was like the first time I seen Agnostic Front was like almost 20 fucking years ago, like 18 and a half years, something. Like it was with Hatebreed a long time ago. I wanted to see Hatebreed. I knew who AF was, but I was more into like Hatebreed at the time, and just Agnostic Front open for them. I was like, there's a lot of fucking skinheads here,
You coming to This Is Hardcore?
No, dude, I fucking wish, because I have a real family reunion with family that was already set up. It's already been planned a long time now. And I was talking to Joe about it. He's like, it's either going to be the first weekend in August or the first weekend in July or the last weekend in July. And I was like, I got to make up your mind. I was like, I hope, but obviously it was based on like Hatebreed's schedule. That's what it all boiled down to. On when they were on tour and is when they can play This Is Hardcore. So that's what they sort of went by their dates with. So I was like, I got to nail this down with my family and this and that. But dude, it's gonna be such a badass. This Is Hardcore.
Yeah, it's gonna
And
be sick.
I'm not happy. Yeah, I'm not going. But
I mean, maybe hop you an airplane and just come to Philly real quick. Watch our set. This comes Saturday, July 9th.
If I was gonna go, it was gonna be Saturday. And I was like, the only day that I would drop like from doing what I'm doing is if there's a Blood for Blood or somehow like Cold as Life showed up on it. And I was like,
if I ever got to see Blood for Blood live, man, so many like for real. All rules go out. I'm fucking kids up that night, straight up. I'm hitting everyone. Yo, Blood for Blood. I've never seen Blood. I've seen Ramallah twice, and I played with him once, and that's the closest I've got.
Yeah, I've seen him either once. I think it's twice, but I only remember one time. But like, and he did some Blood for Blood songs, but I was still just a little bit too young to fully understand how important they are.
Yeah.
I liked Ramallah, but like
that's me and Tear.
Yeah.
I didn't when I got into this shit. I didn't. Well, shit. But when I first heard of Tear, saw Tear shirts being worn, I was in my like crusty fucking punker. Circle pits, not karate kicks things. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I've been there,
shit,
man.
Knucklehead shit. I don't care about that. I'm a punk rocker. And then I got older, and I was like, "Yo, Tear is fucking shout out Tear. Tear don't need my shout out, but shout out Tear.
Shout out to fucking Terror, yeah.
You listen to the new joint yet?
Yeah, dude. Tomorrow, like another White Whale. Like I said, I'm afraid to ask people. I'm gonna have Scott. I'm gonna record with him tomorrow, but it's not gonna go out until the day. They'll be here May 20th. I'm gonna save it for then, just to put a little celebration, interview with Scott. So I have listened to it over and over again. He actually sent me like this little. It's like a promo thing that Hoya Rock recorded. And talking about the album, it's like a minute long, has a couple samples from each song. I'm gonna throw it on the beginning of this episode. So it's like Hoya just talking some shit about Terror. I'm like, oh shit, that's fucking cool, man.
That's badass.
Yeah, happy to be able. It's like they don't need my promotion, but it's cool enough that he asked me to throw it on the podcast. Like, you don't need me, dude. For sure you don't.
But they don't need our cosign, but it's cool. It's cool if they make us think they need our cosign.
Yeah. But it's weird to think like Scott Vogel, like Terror. I was into some like punk hardcore before I found Terror, obviously, like most people. And then I heard them, I started liking them. And then to see them at like a small venue back in like 04-ish, probably 04. It was like weird, like to see like, there's Scott Vogel. He was in the bathroom, like washing his face. I'm gonna tell him this tomorrow too. Like I was taking a piss. He walked in the bathroom. He's like, oh, nothing worse than like a whore's bath. He was like washing his face and his armpits in the sink. I was like, that's Scott Vogel. Like I was just like, so like, it's weird to say like starstruck because I was like fucking teenager, but like, that's the singer of Terror right in front of me.
First time I met Vogel, the homie, I was just like hanging out at the show or whatever. And the homie was like, yo, this is my man Scott. And I was like, what's up, yo? And I had no idea what Terror was. And Terror played that night at a place called Cynics, which is gone. It was in Essex in Maryland. But I met Scott Vogel. I didn't know who you was. I was just like, what's up?
Like, hey, dude, nice to meet you.
For real, like I like hardcore or whatever, but I'm more like a punk, I'm more like a trad skin kind of guy.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, like I said, I never listened to Terror. All the dudes who wore Terror shirts were like big, stocky white boys. And that was out of my wheelhouse at that point in my life. So I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. I remember always seeing the gray Terror shirt with the eagle on it. It said like life and death on the back or something like that. Yeah. Fuck. Those are good old days when you're finding all the new music and shit. When we
gave a fuck.
Yeah. And I'm like, there's too much.
I won't even say there's too much. In all honesty, where we're at now, and I'm gonna go, a lot of this shit sound the same.
It's a fact.
And that's like my biggest problem with a lot of current hardcore and what has been called hardcore, it all sounds the same.
It does, and I think that comes with like the eras. It seems like each like generation or every
Yeah,
5 years or every 10 years, like each decade, it's like there's a lot of bands who show up and it all sounds the same, but everybody's still doing what they love. So it's not, and I think a lot of them are so self-aware that they know they're not doing anything new. It's just what they like.
yes, yeah, it's just what they like. Yeah,
Yeah.
which you got to respect, because like I don't know, there'll only be one Bulldoze. Like regardless of how much you sound like Bulldoze, you can literally play Bulldoze songs, but if you aren't Bulldoze, no one gives a fuck.
Yeah, but like another like funny thing, like a joke band, like fucking Tsunami, like, they're so like outrageous and crazy that like they just blew up, and that wasn't even like the point. They're like, we're doing this for stupid shit, and for people love it. Like,
I'll be out that way. We'll be out in the Bay Area at the end of July. We're hitting a couple of dates with Raw Brigade at the end of July. So
I like Raw Brigade.
Yeah, I fuck with Raw Brigade. Shout out Raw Brigade.
So shit, man. I mean, we ran about an hour now. Like I said, I don't take up too much of your time, but with a fun conversation. I don't know. Let me run down my little list. I wrote some bunch of bullshit down, but we sort of just covered that talking shit. That's what I like to keep it. I don't like to get too deep. I'm not like, oh, this thing of ours. And I'm like, so what's up?
It depends on who you're talking to, because sometimes it is this thing of ours, and then sometimes
yeah. I knew you'd be a fun guy though, like seeing your Instagram and shit like that. I figured we can just like riff for the most part,
I can lie. It feels like I'm talking to some dude I went to like elementary, like some like if this has been the first day of work, something would have happened and we'd have looked over and been like, you saw that? Like, well, that's my new
yeah.
I got to see this guy at work every day. I might as well hang out with that guy.
Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, man. I'm glad it's a fun conversation. Do you guys got any tour dates or anything? You guys gonna be coming to Midwest anytime soon? Because I seen you guys last year in the hot ass Edgeman show. Remember that?
Yeah.
900 degrees.
Let me tell you, man. Let me leave you with this about that fucking show. So I'm on child support because I'm a bad person. My license was suspended at the time, but I had, because I didn't give money to the tour van situation, I had to go get it. So I flew to Michigan, got off an airplane, grabbed this van. Now, I don't know if you remember the weather leading up to that Edgeman show, but it was hot as fuck, but it's also rainy.
Yeah. There's thunderstorms. The power was out and shit.
I had to drive from Michigan to fucking Maryland in a tour van with no air conditioning by myself with a suspended license.
Oh.
And then I had to drive back.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sounds so terrible and scary. So
the whole time I'm like, yo, if I get pulled over, I gotta go to jail in Ohio. I don't want to go in motherfucking Sandusky, Ohio. I don't know nobody out here.
Oh shit. Well, hey man, it's fucked up, but hardcore, man. So once again, I appreciate you doing this. I hope you guys have some tour dates eventually come back out here. If not, I'll have to get you out here myself. We'll have to figure something out.
I appreciate it. It was good talking to you.
Yeah, and thanks again. And this is gonna go out Monday, so I'll tag you and share it if you can, if you got time. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Cool. Yeah, thanks a lot, man. And I wish you all the best of luck. And This Is Hardcore and the new album coming out, whenever it does. It's gonna be great. You guys are just getting started. I know it. You've been around 5 years, but shit's just getting popping. I know it. Thank you so much, dude. All right, man. I'll talk to you. Thank you.
Later.
Bye-bye.